so those who are entering, please enter quietly. Hello, welcome to Poetry Out Loud final competition. My name is Mr. Walsh. For those who don't know me, I am one of the English teachers here at Malden High School. Malden High School has the privilege of having the largest Poetry Out Loud competition in the state of Massachusetts. Over 1,800 students have participated in this. So before we get started, let's all give ourselves a round of applause for participating in this great event. The 16 students up here have won their period competition. It represents students from all different grade levels and all different levels. Let's give them a warm round of applause as well. Students today will be judged on the following criteria: accuracy, difficulty, physical presence, voice and articulation, dramatization, evidence of understanding, and overall performance. We have two guest judges today helping us out. Our assistant superintendent, Dr. Kelly Chase. Let's give her a round of applause. And curriculum director of English Language Arts here in the Malden Public Schools, Dr. Jane Skelton. Let's give her a round of applause. Doing our tallying today is Miss Jen Clapp. Let's give her a round of applause. Well, and I will be scoring accuracy. The way today is going to work, these students have had to now memorize 2 poems, and this is how it's going to be presented. They will present 1 poem, and then each 16 students will present 1 poem, and then we'll take a bit of a breather, and we'll hear 4 teacher recitations of poetry as well. And the finalists up here get the wonderful job of judging those teachers and deciding which one is the teacher winner at Poetry Out Loud. As last year's winner, I wish them all the best. And then once we finish that, the students move on and will recite their second poem. There'll be a brief pause for tallying of scores, and then we have some wonderful trophies for the second place and third place, as well as a trophy for the winner. And that individual will move on to the next round in a couple weeks. So as we get in, without further ado, we're going to get started with our recitation. So I ask if you as an audience, you keep your attention up front, that you applaud appropriately, and you give them and silence your phone that you shouldn't have out anyway. All right, so without further ado, let's begin the competition. Natalie. Those entering, please enter quietly.
Hi, my name is Natalie Mello, and I'll be reciting Immigrant Picnic by Gregory Janikian. It's the 4th of July. The flags are painting the town. The plastic forks and knives are laid out like a parade. And I'm grilling. I've got my apron, I've got mashed potato, I've got potato salad, macaroni, relish. I've got a hat shaped like the state of Pennsylvania. I asked my father, what's his pleasure? And he says, hot dog, medium rare, and then hamburger. Sure, what's the big difference? As if he's really asking. I put on hamburgers and hot dogs, slice up the sour pickles and Bermudas, uncap the condiments. The paper napkins are floating away like lost messages. You're running around, my mother says, like a chicken with its head loose. Ma, I say, you mean cut off? Loose and cut off, being as far apart as, say, son and daughter? She gives me a quizzical look, as though I've been caught in some impropriety. I love you and your sister just the same, she says. Sure, my grandmother pipes in. You're both our children, so why worry? That's not the point, I begin telling them. And I'm comparing words to fish now, like the ones in the sea at Port Said, or like birds among the date palms by the Nile. Unrepentantly elusive, wild. Sonia, my father says to my mother. What the hell is he talking about? He's on ball, my mother says. That's roll, I say, throwing up my hand, as in hot dog, hamburger, dinner, roll. And what about roll out the barrels, she asks. Why, sure, my father says, and claps his hands. Let's have some fun. and launches into a polka, throwing my mother around and around like the happiest top. And my uncle is shaking his head, saying, "You can grow nuts listening to us." And I'm thinking of pistachios in the Sinai, burgeoning without end, pecans in the south, the jumbled flavor of them suddenly in my mouth, wordless, confusing, crowding out everything else. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Samantha Drapinski, and I'll be reciting Sonnet 29, When in Disgrace with Fortune in Men's Eyes, by William Shakespeare. When in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes, I, all alone, beweep my outcast state, and trouble deaf heaven with my bootless cries, and look upon myself, and curse my fate, wishing me, like to one more rich in hope, featured like him, with friends possessed, desiring this man's art and that man's scope, yet with one.
With what I most?
With what I most enjoy, contented pleased. Yet, in these thoughts, myself almost despising, haply I think on thee, and then my state, like to the lark at break of day arising from sullen earth, sings hymns at heaven's gate. For thy sweet love remembered, such wealth brings, that then I change my state with kings.
All right, settle down.
So I'm Sebastian Patino, and I'll be reciting The Chimney Sweeper. When my mother died, I was very young, by William Blake. When my mother died, I was very young, and my father sold me, and yet my tongue could scarcely cry. Weep, 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 weep. So your chimneys I sweep, and in soot I sleep. There's little Tom Dacre, who cried when his head, that curled like a lamb's back, was shaved. So I said, "Hush, Tom, never mind it, for when your head is bare, you know that the soot cannot spoil your hair." And so he was quiet, and that very night, as Tom was asleeping, he had such a sight that thousands of sweepers, Dick, Joe, Ned, and Jack, were all locked up in coffins of black. And by came an angel who had a bright key, and he opened the coffins and set them all free. Then down a green plain, leaping, laughing they run, and wash in the river and shine in the sun. The naked and white, all their bags left behind, they rise upon clouds and sport in the wind. And the angel told Tom that if he'd be a good boy, he'd have God for his father and never want joy. And so Tom awoke, and we rose in the dark, and got with our bags and our brushes to work. Though the morning was cold, Tom was happy and warm. So if all do their duty, they need not fear harm. Thank you.
My name is Marcus Paul. I'll be reciting The Blues Don't Change by Al Young. Now, I'll tell you about the blues. All Negroes like blues. Why? Because they was born with the blues, and now everybody has the blues. Sometimes they don't know what it is. Lead belly. And I was born with you, wasn't I? Blues. Womb with you, wounded, reared and forwarded from address to address, stamped, stomped, and returned to sender by nobody else but you, Blue Rider, writing me off every chance you got. You mean, old, grudgeful-hearted, table-turning demon. You sexy, soul-sucking gem. Blue diamond in the rough. You are forever. You can't be outfoxed. Don't care how they cut or smother and shine you on. You're like a shadow, too dumb and stubborn and necessary to let them turn you into what you ain't with color or theory or powder or paint. That's how you can stay in style without sticking, not getting stuck. You know where to sting, where I can't scratch. And you move from frying pan to skillet the same way you move people to go to wiggling their bodies, juggling their limbs, loosening that goose, opening their voices, opening their pores, rolling their hips and lips. They can shake their booties, but they can't shake you.
Hi, I'm nervous. And I'm Josh, Gabriel. I will be reciting Break of Day by John Donne. "'Tis true, 'tis day, what though it be? Oh, wilt thou therefore rise from me? Why should we rise because 'tis light? Did we lie down because 'twas night? Love, which in spite of darkness brought us hither, should in despite of light keep us together. Light hath no tongue, but is all eye. If it could speak as well as spy, that's were the worst that it could say. That, being well, I fain would stay, and that I loved my heart, and honor so that I would not from him that had them. Go. Must business thee from hence remove? Oh, that's the worst disease of love. The poor, the foul, the false, love can admit, but not the busied man. He which hath business and makes love, doth do such wrong as when a married man doth woo." Thank you.
is Blondell Binyang, and I'll be reciting Dreamers by Siegfried Sassoon. Soldiers are citizens of death's gray land, drawing no dividend from time's tomorrow. In the great hour of destiny, they stand, each with his feuds and destinies and sorrows. Soldiers are sworn to action. They must win some flaming fatal climax with their lives. Soldiers are dreamers. When the guns begin, they think of firelit homes, clean beds, and wives. I see them in the foul dugouts, gnawed by rats, and in ruined trenches, lashed with rain, dreaming of the things they did with balls and bats, and mocked by the hopeless, longing to regain bank holidays, picture shows, and spats, and going to the office in the train.
My name is Jamal DeSantos, and I will be reciting I Am Offering This Poem to You by Jimmy Santiago Bach. I am offering this poem to you since I have nothing else to give. Keep it like one coat when winter comes to cover you, or like a pair of thick socks the cold cannot bite through. I love you. I have nothing else to give you. So it is a pot full of yellow corn to warm your belly winter. It is a scarf for your head to wear over your hair, to tie up around your face. I love you. Keep it. Treasure this as you would if you were lost, needing directions, in the wilderness when life becomes mature. In the corner of your drawer, tucked away like a cabin or Hogan dance trees, come knocking, and I will answer, give you directions, and let you warm yourself by this fire, rest by this fire, and make you feel safe. I love you. It is all I have to give, and it is all anyone needs to live, and to go on living inside when the world outside no longer cares if you live or die. Remember, I love you. Thank you.
Let's go, Danielle. You got this.
All right, sit down.
Hi, my name is Danielle Volmar, and I will be reciting Domestic Situation by Ernest Hilbert. Maybe you heard about this, maybe not. A man came home and checked his girlfriend's cat in the wood chipper. This really happened. Then he wasn't ready on time, and a lot of things went wrong. He spat on her father, who came out when he learned about it. He also broke her pinky, stole her checks, and got her sister pregnant. But she stood by him. She's so strong through it up because she loved him. She loved him, you see? She actually said that. And then she went and married him. She felt some unique call. Don't try to understand what another person means by love. Don't even bother. Thank you.
My name is Monica Joseph, and I will be reciting The Blues Don't Change by Al Young. Now I'll tell you about the blues. All Negroes like blues. Why? Because they was born with the blues. And now everybody have the blues. Sometimes they don't know what it is. Lead belly. And I was born with you, wasn't I, blues? Wound with you, wounded, reared, and forwarded from address to address, stamped, stomped, and returned to sender by nobody else but you. Blue rider, writing me off every chance you got. You mean, old, grudgeful-hearted, table-turning demon, you. You sexy soul-sucking gem. Blue diamond in the rough, you are forever. You can't be outfoxed. Don't care how they cut and smuggle and shine you on. You're like a shadow, too dumb and stubborn and necessary to let them turn you into what you ain't, with color or theory or powder or paint. That's how you can stay in style without sticking and not getting stuck. You know how to sting where I can't scratch, and you move from frying pan to skillet. The same way you move people to go to wiggling their bodies, juggling their limbs, loosening that goose, upping their voices, opening their pores, rolling their hips and lips. They can shake their booties, but they can't shake you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ephron Hemmel, and I will be reciting The New World by Mary Baraka. The sun is folding, cars stall and rise beyond the window. The workmen leave the street to the bums and painters' wives, pushing their babies home. Those who realize how fitful and indecent consciousness is stare solemnly out on the emptying street. The mourners and soft singers, the liars and seekers after ridiculous righteousness. All my doubles and friends whose mistakes cannot be duplicated by machines. And this is all of our arrogance. Being broke or broken, dribbling at the eyes. Wasted lyricists and men who have seen their dreams come true, only seconds after they knew those dreams to be horrible conceits and plastic fantasies of gesture and extension, shoulders, hair, and tongue distributing misinformation about the nature of understanding. No one is that simple or priggish to be alone out of spite and grown strong in its practice. Mystics in two-pant suits. Our style and discipline controlling the method of knowledge. Beatniks, like bohemians, go calmly out of style. And boys are dying in Mexico who did not get the word. The lateness of their fabrication marked their holes with filthy needles and the lust of the world. This will not be news. The simple, damning lust. Float flat magic in low changing evenings. Shiver your hands and dance. Empty all of me for knowing. And will the danger of identification let me sit and go blind in my dreaming? And be that dream in purpose and device. A fantasy of defeat, a strong, strong man, older, but no wiser than the defect of love. Thank you. Hi, I'm Fitzgerald Eloy, and I'll be reciting Snow Day by Billy Collins. Today, we woke up to a revolution of snow. This white flag waving over everything. The landscape vanished. Not a single mouse to punctuate the blankness. And beyond these windows, the government buildings smothered, schools and libraries buried, the post office lost under the noiseless drift, the paths of trains softly blocked, the world fallen under this falling. In a while, I'll put on some boots and step out like someone walking in water. The dog will porpoise through the drifts, and I'll shake a laden branch, sending a cold shower down on us both. But for now, I'm a willing prisoner in this house. A sympathizer with the anarchic cause of snow. I will make a pot of tea and listen to the plastic radio on the counter. As glad as anyone to hear the news that the kitty corner school is closed. The ding dong school is closed. The all aboard children's school closed. The hi ho nursery school closed. Along with, some will be delighted to hear, the Toadstool School, the Little School, Little Sparrows Nursery School, Little Stars Preschool, Peas and Carrots Day School, the Tom Thumb Child Center, all closed. And clap your hands, the Peanuts Play School. So this is where the children hide all day. These are the nests where they letter and draw, where they put on their bright miniature jackets, all darting, climbing, and sliding. All but the few girls whispering by the fence. And now I'm listening hard in the grandiose silence of the snow, trying to hear what those three girls are plotting. What riot is afoot? Which small queen is about to be brought down? Thank you.
My name is Ethan Pava. I'll be reciting Death Be Not Proud by John Donne. Death, be not proud, though some have called thee mighty and dreadful, for thou art not so. For those whom thou think'st thou dost overthrow, die not, poor Death, nor yet canst thou kill me. From rest and sleep, which but thy pictures be, much pleasure, then from thee much more must flow. And soonest our best men with thee do go, rest of their bones and soul's delivery. Thou art slave to fate, chance, kings, and desperate men, and doth with poison, war, and sickness dwell, and popular charms can make us sleep as well. And better than thy stroke, why swellest thou then? One short sleep past, wake eternally, and death shall be no more. Death, thou shalt die. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Isaiah Clemens, and the poem I'm reciting is called When You Are Old by William Butler Yeats. When you are old and gray and full of sleep and nodding by the fire, Take down this book and slowly read. And dream of the soft look your eyes had once, and of their shadows deep. How many loved your moments of glad grace, and loved your beauty with love, false or true? But one man loved the pilgrim soul in you, and loved the sorrows of your changing face, and bending down beside the glowing bars. Murmur, a little sadly, how love fled and paced upon mountains overhead, and hid his face amid a crowd of stars. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Mari Lorius, and I will be reciting Amor Mundi by Cristina Rossetti. Where are you going with your love locks flowing on the west wind blowing along this valley track? The downhill path is easy. Come with me and it please thee. We shall escape the uphill by never turning back. So they two went together in glowing August weather.
The honey-breathing heather lay to the left and right, and dear she was to dote on. Her swift feet seemed to float on the air, like soft twin pigeons, too sportive to alight. Oh, what is that in heaven where great cloud fleets are seven? Where blackest clouds hang riven just at the ribbon skirt? Oh, that's a meteor sent us, a message dumb, portentous, an undeciphered, solemn signal of help or hurt. Oh, what is that glides quickly where velvet flowers grow thickly? Their scent comes rich and sickly? A scaled and hooded worm. Or what is that in the hollow? So pale I quake to follow. Oh, that's a thin dead body which waits the eternal turn. Turn again, oh my sweetest, turn again, false and fleetest. This beaten way thou beatest, I fear, is hell's own track. Nay, too steep for hill mounting. Nay, too late for cost counting. The downhill path is easy, but there's no turning back. My name is Vanessa Morales, and I'm going to be reciting A Noiseless Patient Spider by Walt Whitman. A noiseless patient spider I marked where on a little promontory it stood isolated, marked how to explore the vacant, vast surrounding. It launched forth, filament, 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 out of itself, ever unreeling them, ever tirelessly speeding them. And you, oh my soul, where you stand, surrounded, detached, in measureless oceans of space, ceaselessly musing, venturing, throwing, seeking the spheres to connect them. Till the bridge you will need be formed, till the ductile anchor hold, till the gossamer threads you fling, catch somewhere, oh my soul. Thank you.
My name's Hamza Mena. My name's Hamza Mena, and I'll be reciting I Felt a Funeral in My Brain by
Emily Dickinson.
Emily Dickinson. I felt a funeral in my brain, and mourners to and fro kept treading, till it seemed that sense was breaking through. And when they all were seated, a service like a drum kept beating, till I thought my mind was going numb. And then I heard them lift up box and creak across my soul with those same boots of lead again. Then space began to toll, as all the heavens were bell, and being by an ear and I in silence, some strange race wrecked solitary here.
And then a plank.
And then a plank in reason broke, and I dropped down and down, and hit a world that every plunge had finished knowing. Then,
Thank you. So I now would like to invite our 4 teacher competitors to please come forward. So we have 4 teachers competing, and the judges will be the finalists, and they have a little slip of paper, and after all 4 present, they will write down the teacher who they feel best exemplified or recited their poem. And so our first teacher recitation comes from Mr. Evan Mauser.
All right. Hello, Mr. Evan Mauser. I'm doing a poem entitled "These Poems She Said" by Robert Bringhurst. These poems, she said, are poems with no love in them. These are the poems of a man who would leave his wife and child because they made noise in his study. These are the poems of a man who would murder his mother because he wanted to claim the inheritance. These are the poems of a man like Plato, she said, which is meaning something I did not comprehend, but which nevertheless offended me. These are the poems of a man who would lie.
Rather sleep.
Oh yeah. These are the poems of a man who would rather sleep with himself than with women, she said. These are the poems of a man with eyes like a draw knife, with hands like pickpockets' hands, woven of water and logic and hunger, with no strand of love in them. These poems are as heartless as birdsong, as unmeant as elm leaves, which, if they love, love only the wide blue sky and the air and the idea of elm leaves. Self-love is an ending, she said, and not a beginning. Love is love of the thing sung, and not of the song or the singing. These poems, she said. You are, he said, beautiful. That is not love, she said brightly.
Our next teacher is Mr. Matthew Smith.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Mr. Matthew Smith. I am going to be reciting One Art by Elizabeth Bishop. The art of losing isn't hard to master. So many things seem filled with the intent to be lost, that their loss is no disaster. Lose something every day, except the fluster of lost door keys, the hour badly spent. The art of losing isn't hard to master. Then practice losing farther, losing faster, places and names, and where it was you meant to travel. None of these will bring disaster. I lost my mother's watch. And look, my last, or next to last, of 3 loved houses went. The art of losing isn't hard to master. I lost 2 cities, lovely ones, and vaster. Some realms I owned, 2 rivers, continent. I miss them. But it wasn't a disaster. Even losing you, the joking voice, the gesture I love. I shan't have lied, it's evident. The art of losing's not too hard to master, though it may look like. Say it. Like disaster.
Mr. Holland will now recite his poem.
Well, being a makeup it's pretty dangerous. I'm going to recite a poem by an author who grew up in Lawrence, Massachusetts, and then became identified with the state of Vermont and New Hampshire, where he taught for many years. That would be Robert Frost. And it's Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. You will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near. Between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year, he gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep.
And our last teacher.
So I'll be reciting the poem Numbers by Mary Cornish. I like the generosity of numbers, the way, for example, they are willing to count anything or anyone. 2 pickles, 1 door to the room, 8 dancers dressed as swans. I like the domesticity of numbers. Add 2 cups of milk and stir, the sense of plenty, 6 plums on the ground, 3 more falling from the tree. Even multiplication's school of fish times fish, whose silver bodies breathe beneath the shadow of a boat. Even subtraction is never a loss, just addition somewhere else. 5 sparrows take away 2, the 2 in someone else's garden now. There's an amplitude to long division as it opens Chinese fortune, Chinese takeout, box after paper box. Inside every folded cookie, a new fortune. And I never fail to be surprised by the gift of an odd remainder, footloose at the end. 47 divided by 11 equals 4, with 3 remaining. 3 boys beyond their mother's call, 2 Italians off to sea. 1 sock that isn't anywhere you look.
Thank you very much. So the way the second round, the second poem is going to work is we're just going to go in reverse order. So we're going to start right now, and until you are up first. Yep.
My name's Hamza Mena. I'll be reciting football. I live this child. I take a snap from the center. Fake to right, fake back. I've got protection. I've got a receiver open downfield. What the hell is this? This isn't football. It's a shoe. A man's brown leather Oxford. A cousin to a football man. The same skin, but not the same. I think made for the air, not the air. I realize that this is a world where anything is possible, and I understand. Also, that one often has to make do with what one has. I have eaten pancakes, for instance, with that clear, corn syrup on them because there's no maple syrup, and they weren't very good. Well, anyways, my man downfield is waving his arms. One has certain responsibilities, one has to make choices. This isn't right, and I'm not going to slow it. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Vanessa Morales, and I'm going to be reciting Inside Out by Diana Kosky. I walk the purple carpet into your eye, carrying the silver butter server, but a truck rumbles by, leaving its black tire prints on my foot, and old images, the sound of banging screen doors on hot afternoons, and a fly buzzing over the Kool-Aid spilled on the sink, flicker as reflections on the metal surface. Come in, he said, inside your paintings, inside the old songs that line your hands, inside eyes that change like a snowflake every second.
Inside spinach leaves, holding that one piece of gravel. Inside the whiskers of a cat. Inside your old hat. And most of all, inside your mouth, where you grind the pigments with your teeth, painting. With a broken bottle on the floor and painting. With an ostrich feather on the moon that rolls out of my mouth. You cannot let me walk inside you too long. Inside the veins where my small feet touch bottom. You must reach inside and pull me like a silver bullet from your arm. Thank you.
My name is Marley Lorius, and I will be reciting When A Refuses the Operation by Lizelle Mueller. Doctor, you say there are no halos around the streetlights in Paris. And what I see is an aberration caused by old age, an affliction. I tell you, it has taken me all my life to arrive at the vision of gases as angels, to soften and blur and finally finish the edges you regret I don't see, to learn that the line that I call the horizon does not exist, and sky and water so long apart are the same state of being. 54 years before I could see Rouen Cathedral is built of parallel shafts of sun. And now you want to restore my youthful errors, fixed notions of top and bottom, the illusion of three-dimensional space, wisteria separate from the bridges it covers. What can I say to convince you that the Houses of Parliament dissolve night after night to become the fluid dream of the Thames? I will not return to a universe of objects that do not know each other, as if islands were not lost children of one great continent. The world is flux, and light becomes what it touches, becomes water, lilies on water, above and below water, becomes lilac and mauve and yellow and white and cerulean lamps. Small fists passing sunlight so quickly to one another that it would take long streaming hair inside my brush to catch it. To paint the speed of light. Our weighted shapes, these verticals, burn to mix with air and change our bones, skin, clothes to gases. Doctor, if only you could see how heaven pulls earth into its arms, and how infinitely the heart expands to claim this world. Blue vapor without end.
My name is Isaiah Cummins. The poem I'm reciting is called Old Men Playing Basketball by B.H. Fairchild. The heavy bodies lunge. The broken language of fake and drive. Glamorous jump shots slow to a stutter. Their gestures in love again with the pure geometry of curves. Rise toward the ball. Falter and fall away. On the boards, their hands and fingertips tremble in tense little prayers of reach and balance. Then, the grind of bone and socket, the caught breath, the sigh, the grunt of the body laboring to give birth to itself. And then totally in grand sweeps. I wonder, do they still make love to their wives? Kissing the undersides of their wrists, dancing the old soft shoe of desire. And on the long walk home from the VFW, do they still sing to the drunken moon? Stands full, clock moving. The one in army fatigues and house shoes says to himself, pick and roll. And the phrase sounds musical as ever. Radio crooning songs of love after the game. The girl leaning back in the Chevy's front seat as her raven hair flames in the shuddering light of the outdoor movie. And now he drives, gliding toward the net. A glass wand of autumn light breaks over the backboard. Boys rise up in old men. Wings begin to sprout out their backs. The ball turns in the darkening air. Thank you.
My name is Ethan Pava. I'll be reciting Ovation by Carol Musk Dukes. I try to make myself afraid, the way you must have been afraid. Stepping out into this stage, but the fear so pure, so perfectly informed, that you strode out shouting. Here, with the neon yellow arrows painted on the floor, shoot forward underfoot in blackness, beneath the hanging sequence of tinted skies, out toward that mindless immortalizing light. Now dark. Now I think I feel the heat you must have felt rising from the front rows, a gaping fire door, a furnace. Your single body standing here, with no shadow, swinging on itself. Had you been a fool, you might have thought that they loved you. They never loved you, you said. They are hungry for the god in his gold eclipse, the pure you on fire. John and I moved quickly, each with a handful of ash, scattering. The sound of no sound falling into the cracks, the boards, the footlights, first row. A small person was known, a prince of dust, a villain of dust. Each part you played, drifting up again, recomposing. I opened my hand, and I let you go, back into the lines you learned, back into the body and the body's beauty, back into the standing ovation. Bow after bow after bow. Thank you.
Hi guys again. I'm Fitzgerald Eloy and I'll be reciting Blow Blow That Winter Wind by William Shakespeare. Blow, blow thou winter wind, thou art not so unkind as man's ingratitude. Thy tooth is not so keen because thou art not seen, although thy breath be rude. Hey ho, sing, hey ho, unto the green holly, most friendship with feigning, most loving mere folly. Then hey ho the holly, this life is most jolly. Freeze, freeze thou bitter sky, that dost not bite so nigh, as benefits for God. Though thou waters warp, thy sting is not so sharp. Hey ho, sing hey ho, unto the green holly, most friendship with feigning, most loving mere folly. Then hey ho the holly, this life is most jolly. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ephron Himmel, and now I will be reciting Epilogue by Robert Browning. At the midnight, in the silence of sleep time, when you set your fancies free, will they pass to where, by death, fools think imprisoned? Lo, he lies, who once so loved you, whom you loved so. Pity me? Oh, to love so, be so loved, yet so mistaken. What had I on earth to do with the mawkish, the slothful, the unmanly? Like the aimless, helpless, hopeless, did I drivel, being who? One who never turned his back, but marched breast forward, never doubted clouds would break, never dreamed, though right were worsted, wrong would triumph. Held, we fell to rise, are baffled to fight better, sleep to wake. No, at noonday in the bustle of man's work time, greet the unseen with a cheer, bid him forward, breast and back as either should be. Strive and thrive, cry, speed, fight on, fare ever, there as here. Thank you.
My name is Monica Joseph, and I will be reciting Epitaph by Catherine Phillips. On her son HP, at the St. Side's Church, where her body also lies interred. What on earth deserves our trust? Youth and beauty, both are dust. Long we gathering are with pain. What one moment calls again? 7 years childless marriage past. A son is born at last. So exactly limbed and fair, full of good spirits, mien and air. As a long life promised, yet in less than 6 weeks, dead. Too promising, too great a mind, in so small room to be confined. Therefore, as fit in heaven to dwell, he quickly broke the prison shell. So the subtle alchemist can't with Hermes' seal resist. The powerful spirit's subtler flight, but 'twill bid him long good night. And the sun, if it arise, half so glorious as his eyes, like this infant, takes a shroud, buried in a morning cloud. Thank you.
My name is Danielle Beaumont, and I'll be reciting Richard Cory by Edwin Alton Robinson. Whenever Richard Cory went downtown, we people on the pavement looked at him. He was a gentleman from soul to crown, clean-favored and apparently slim. And he was always quietly arrayed, and he was always human when he talked. But still, he still followed closest when he said good morning, and glittered when he walked. And he was rich. Yes, richer than a king. And a mind we schooled in every grace. And fine, we thought he was everything, to make us wish that we were in his place. So on, we worked, and waited for the light, and went without the meat, and cursed the bread. And Richard Cory, one calm summer night, went home and pulled a bullet through his head. Thank you.
Once again, my name is Jamila De Santos, and I will be reciting the author's notebook by Anne Bradstreet. Thou, ill-formed offspring of my feeble brain, who after birth didst by my side remain, till snatched from thence by friends less wise and true, who thee abroad exposed to public view, made thee rags, halting to the press to trudge, where errors were not lessened, I'll not judge. At thy return, my blushing was not small, my rambling bright and print should mother call. I cast thee by as one unfit for light. Thy visage was so irksome in my sight. Yet being my own, at length affection, would thy blemishes amend, if so I could. I washed thy face, the more defects I saw, a ribbon of a spot, still but a flaw. I stretched thy joints to make thee even feet, yet still thou growest more humble than is meet. In better dress to trim thee was my mind, but not save homespun cloth in the house I find. In this array monks the vulgar smiths that roam, in critic hands beware dost not come. And take thy way where yet thou art not known, and for thy father ask, say thou hast none, and for thy mother, she alas is poor, which caused her thus to send thee out of door. Thank you.
Again, I'm Blondell Binyami, and I'll be reciting The Farmer by W.D. Earhart. Each day I go into the fields to see what is growing and what remains to be done. It's always the same thing. Nothing's growing. Everything needs to be done. Plow, harrow, disc, water, pray till my bones ache and hands rub blood raw with honest labor. All that grows is a slow, intransigent intensity of need. I have sown my seed to soil, guaranteed by poverty to fail. But I don't complain. Except to the passers-by who ask me why I work such barren earth. They would not understand if I stooped to lift a rock and hold it like a child, or laughed, or told them it is their poverty I labor to relieve. For them, I complain. A farmer of dreams knows how to pretend. A farmer of dreams knows what it means to be patient. Each day I go into the fields.
My name is Joshua Gaviola, and I'll be reciting Cartoon Physics Part 1 by Nick Flynn. Children under, say, 10 shouldn't know that the universe is ever expanding, inexorably pushing into the vacuum. Galaxies swallowed by galaxies, whole solar systems collapsing. All of it acted out in silence. At 10, we are still learning the rules of cartoon animation. That if a man draws a door on a rock, only he can pass through it. Anyone else who tries will crash into the rock. 10-year-olds should stick with burning houses, car wrecks, ships going down, earthbound, tangible disasters, arenas where they can be heroes. You can run back into a burning house. Sinking ships have lifeboats. The trucks will come with their ladders. If you jump, you will be saved. A child places her hand on the roof of a school bus and drives across a city of sand. She knows the exact spot it will skid, at which point the bridge will give. Who will swim to safety? And who will be pulled under by sharks? She will learn that if a man runs off the edge of a cliff, he will not fall until he notices his mistake. Thank you.
My name is Marcus Paul. I'll be reciting A March in the Rings Hard Press and the Road Unknown by Walt Whitman. A march in the ranks, hard pressed, in the road unknown. A route to a heavy wood with muffled steps and a darkness. Our army foiled with loss of view, and the sullen remnants retreating, till, after midnight, glimmer upon us the lights of a dim, lighted building. We come to an open space in the woods and halt by the dim, lighted building. 'Tis a large old church. 'Tis a large old church at the crossing roads, now an impromptu hospital. Entering, but for a minute, I see a sight beyond all the pictures and poems ever made. Shadows of deepest, deepest black, just lit by moving candles and lamps.
And by one great pitchy.
And by one great pitchy torch, stationary by wild red flames and clouds of smoke. By these crowds of form vaguely, I see on the floor. Some of the pews laid down. Like,
At my feet more distinctly.
At my feet more distinctly, a soldier, a mere lad, in danger of bleeding to death. He is shot in the abdomen. I stench the blood temporarily. The youngster's face is white as a lily. Then, before I depart, I sweep my eyes over the scene, fain to absorb it all.
Faces, varieties, postures.
Faces, varieties, postures beyond description, most in obscurity, some of them dead. Surgeons operating, attendants holding lights. Surgeons operating, attendants holding lights. Right.
The smell of ether, the odor.
The smell of ether, the odor of blood. Right.
The crowd, oh the crowd.
The crowd, oh the crowd.
Excuse me. The crowd, oh the crowd of the bloody forms.
The crowd, oh the crowd of bloody forms.
Audience. The yard outside.
The yard outside also filled. Right?
Some on the bare ground.
Some on the bare ground, some on planks or stretchers, some in the death's palms sweating. An occasional scream or cry, the doctor shouted, orders or calls.
The glistening
of the little steel instrument, catching the glint of the torches.
These resume as I chant. These resume as I chant, I see again the forms.
These resume as I chant, I see again the forms, I smell the odor.
Then hear outside the orders.
Then hear outside the orders given. Fall in, my men, fall in. Fall in, my men, fall in.
But first I bend.
But first I bend to the dying lad, his eyes open. A half smile gives he me. Then the eyes close. Calmly close. Then,
and I speed forth to the darkness.
And I speed forth to the darkness. And I speed forth to the darkness, resuming, marching, ever in darkness marching, under the ranks, the unknown road, still marching.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm Sebastian Bassino, again, and I'll be reciting Domestic Situation by Ernest Silver. Maybe you've heard about this, maybe not. A man came home and chalked his girlfriend's cat in the wood chipper. This really happened. Dinner wasn't ready on time. A lot of other little things went wrong. He spat on her father, who came out when he learned about it. He also broke her pinky, stole her checks, and got her sister pregnant. But she stood by him, stood strong through it all, because she loved him. She loved him, you see. She actually said that. And then she went and married him. She felt some unique call. Don't try to understand what another person means by love. Don't even bother. Thank you.
name is Samantha Trapinski, and I'll be reciting Ego by Denise Duhamel. I just didn't get it. Even with the teacher holding an orange, the earth, in one hand, and a lemon, the moon, in the other. Her favorite student, the sun, standing behind her with a flashlight. I just couldn't grasp it. This whole such as universe, these bumpy planets, revolving so slowly, no one could even see themselves moving. I used to think, if I could only concentrate hard enough, I could be the one person to feel what no one else could. Sense a small tug from the ground, a sky shift, the earth changing gears, even though there was only one mini speck on a speck, even though it was merely a pinprick and one goosebump on the orange. I was sure then I was the most especially perceptive, perceptively sensitive. I was sure then my mother was the only mother to snap. The world doesn't revolve around you. The earth was fragile and mostly water, just the way the orange was mostly water if you peeled it, just the way I was mostly water if you peeled me. Looking back on that third grade science demonstration, I didn't understand why some people gave up on fame or religion or cures, especially people who have an understanding of the excruciating trawl of the world, who have a well-developed sense of spatial reasoning, and the tidiness that is to be one of us. But not me. Even now, wouldn't mind being God. The force who spins the planets, the way I spin a globe. A basketball, a yo-yo, wouldn't mind being that teacher who chooses the fruit, or that favorite kid who gives the moon its glow. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Natalie Mello, and I will be reciting Conquered Hymn by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Sung at the completion of the Battle Monument, July 4th, 1837. By the rude bridge that arced the flood, their flag to April's breeze unfurled. Here, once, the embattled farmers stood and fired the shot heard around the world. The foe long since in silence slept, like the conqueror silent sleeps. In time, the ruined bridge has swept down dark stream which seaward creeps. On this green bank, by this soft stream, we set today a votive stone, that memory may their deeds redeem when, like our sires, our sons are gone. Spirit that made those heroes dare to die and leave their children free, bid time and nature gently spare the shaft we raise to them and thee. Thank you.
All right, let's give them all a big round of applause. And the winner of the teacher competition, and you can see me in my room, I have a prize for you, Mr. Evan Mauser. We do not score for accuracy. Good job, Mr. Mauser. So in third place, come on up, Isaiah Clemens, come on up. And in second place, and be prepared in case there is a conflict with the first place person, Joshua Gaviola, come on. And in first place, and stop by and see me after the day is done so we can talk about the next round, Vanessa Morales. And you are dismissed, I believe, for the next round. Great job. Thank you again for a great poetry round. Thanks again to our judges.